Thank you for joining me on the Me and White Supremacy virtual pilgrimage. It's week 20, and this week it's what is being called out or called in. I'm the Reverend John Borthwick, and I'm the minister here at St. Andrews in Guelph, and it's my pleasure to be able to bring this conversation to light in the community that I serve. For the last 20 weeks, with some breaks in between, I've attempted to engage my congregation in taking a virtual pilgrimage with me. There's been a couple of people who've come alongside me, and we've had conversations about this material each and every week. Others, I think, watch the videos and have a sense of what's going on there, just at least the basics. I've encouraged many people to get the book and learn from the book and do their own personal journey through this book with the guided journal as well. But this journey itself, what's been fascinating about it for me personally as I reflect on this material is the ways in which it all sort of weaves through as we build on each week a little more. And I must say I'm grateful to myself for giving myself the time to reflect deeply on each week. The way this was originally designed was a 28-day challenge, and it was on Instagram, and it was amazing, I'm sure, probably for lots of folks that began to do this work. But I'm glad that when I began this process, I was thinking, let's do a 28-day challenge. But I'm glad we're taking a longer time to sort of let the material marinate, let us savor it, let us really do that work of excavation each week, and give ourselves that space and place to have that and then come to the next week and see what new layers build. And this one this week is really interesting because part of this journey, a little bit related to last week as well, I've wondered, because these videos are public, they're on YouTube. I don't have a huge fan base, so I'm not too worried. But I've wondered a little bit if people have thought maybe, oh, this is John doing some kind of optical allyship. Look at him. He's reading this book. He must be thinking he's great. And I also have wondered if folks would engage me and say, I'm doing this wrong, or some of my reflections are misguided, or I'm not thinking this through well, or I'm stuck in a mindset or the culture or system I've been raised in, or I have the privilege of bearing as a person who is white and resourced and all those kinds of things. And I've wanted, and we reflected on this a few times throughout this journey, but I wanted to be very careful that if that came my way, that I wouldn't respond defensively, that I wouldn't lash out, that I would take it in, I would think about it, I would reflect on it, but I would commit to continuing to do the work, because I do see so often in the society that we live in that when people are knocked down for trying to do good, trying to do something meaningful, they retreat and they basically say, I'm not doing this anymore. It's too hard. It's not, people are being mean to me. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. And so it's important to us as we do this work that if we get feedback, if someone calls us out, calls us in, then we, maintain connectedness, that we stick with it, that we listen to the feedback, that we try to understand better the ways we have made mistakes, we have misspoke, we have not done the right things. So to listen in to, again, Layla and a couple of definitions. So call-out culture, she says, refers to the tendency among progressives and radicals, activists, and community organizers to publicly name instances or patterns of oppressive behavior and language use by others. Calling in means speaking privately with an individual who has done some wrong in order to address the behavior without making a spectacle of the address itself. So that's the two sort of understandings of what this looks like. Now, what I really, really valued in this chapter specifically is how she sort of pulls out this fear that we might have of being called out or called in, and how it might deter us from moving forward and trying to continue the work of anti-racism. And so let me just share, I think what she says is perfect for us to, if we're only going to get a glimpse, if we're only watching this video, Just a little something to take in, to think about. So she says this: if you are constantly afraid of doing the wrong thing and being called out or in for it, then your anti-racism work will easily slip into perfectionism, which will lead to the following things, which are very much connected to everything we've been doing thus far. So listen. Which will lead to white fragility, because you have not built the resilience needed for doing this work. Tone policing, because you can only handle being called in or out if the message is delivered to you in a certain tone. White silence, because the fear of saying the wrong thing. White exceptionalism, because you will continue to think you are the exception to the rule. You're one of the good ones. White apathy, because you think, what is the point if I'm being called out or called in? Tokenism, because you will want a BIPOC to protect you from the pain of being called out or in. And finally, optical allyship from last week, because you will be more concerned with not being called out or in than with simply doing the work. And here's the truth. You will be called out in as you do anti-racism work. Making mistakes is how you learn and do better going forward. Being called out or in is not a deterrent to the work. It is a part of the work, and there is no safety in this work. There has been no safety for BIPOC under white supremacy, and the sense of perceived emotional danger that people with white privilege feel when being called out or in is so small compared to what BIPOC experience through racism. So as I reflect on this today, I want to continue this journey. I want to continue this pilgrimage, continue to excavate within myself, confront the things I need to confront, and work towards making that change that I can see is so needed in the world. So may we continue to do work that is hard, but we do it because it's hard, not because it's easy. Thank you.